On August the 4th, 1990, two hikers near Calvine in Scotland took a photograph of a mysterious diamond-shaped flying object hovering in the middle of the sky. That picture, known as the Calvine photo, vanished from view for 32 years and was the subject of rumours, theories and urban legends. But now, owing to the work of British journalist David Clarke, the groundbreaking image has at last come to light. After 13 years of research, Clarke, who has worked as a curator for Britain's National Archives and is currently an associate professor at Sheffield Hallam University, found that the former Royal Air Force press officer Craig Lindsay had held on to a copy of the last remaining original print, waiting for someone to inquire about the mysterious image for over 30 years. In the photo, one of a series of 6 the hikers reportedly took, a diamond-shaped object can be seen flying in the sky, while a fighter jet can be spotted in the background, not too far from it. It's the first time that the public has had access to this elusive image, which has been described as the best UFO photo ever taken. Back in 1990, the two hikers brought the photo to Scotland's Daily Record newspaper for publication, but instead, the newspaper handed the image over to the British Ministry of Defence, which they kept secret until recently. The Daily Record's picture editor at the time sent them to Craig Lindsay, who was the RAF press officer in Scotland. He passed the print to the Ministry of Defence in London. The Ministry of Defence in London then asked him to obtain the negatives, so he went back to the Daily Record, asked the Daily Record to send the negatives to London, which they did quite amazingly, and that's when they disappeared. Clarke writes that the information linked to the photo together with the image should have normally been released by now, as over 30 years have passed. The identity of the two hikers who took the shot are still a mystery, and the Ministry of Defence has stated that it will not be made public until 2072. Oddly, despite all the publicity, the two individuals who took the photographs have never come forward. Clarke stated that the negatives have never been seen since they reached the Ministry of Defence. Now, the Ministry of Defence say that they returned them to the Daily Record, but the Daily Record say they never received them, and they have no idea what happened to them. So, there's lots of questions to be answered. Who got hold of the images, and why? Could it have been the government, or a different organisation? While we don't know what happened to the men who took the photo, we do know what they described 32 years ago. According to what Lindsay told Clarke, the two men were working as chefs in a hotel in Pitlochry in the Scottish Highlands when one summer evening they decided to go for a walk near Calvine. While out walking, the two spotted a huge diamond-shaped flying object moving silently in the sky. They witnessed the object in the sky and were in total shock. They ran into the nearby woodland to keep their heads down, and they heard this jet come down the valley, and then, 2 minutes later, it returned and started circling around the object, and that's when they took the photographs. As soon as the photograph was taken, the object started to move and shot off into the clouds at a speed much faster than any military jet they've ever seen. Whether what the two men saw on that evening in 1990 was actually a UFO, as the two men thought then, is still unclear. Clarke had one of the photos analysed by one of his colleagues, senior lecturer in photography at Sheffield Hallam University, Andrew Robinson, who said that the image shows no sign of manipulation. It follows that this is either a genuine unidentified flying object in the sky, or that any construction or manipulation used to create this effect occurred in front of the camera and not in the capturing of the scene on film, nor in the subsequent processing and printing of the image. He believes that the mysterious flying object could have been the Aurora, which the US was rumoured to be building in the 1980s, though there was limited evidence of such a project, and the US government has consistently denied its existence. Clarke is 100% sure that someone, somewhere in the military establishment in Britain or in the US knows exactly what the photograph shows. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you in my next video.